to sell my house. It's unique, which could be a tough sell. We listed our house almost 10 years ago. The neighborhood was changing. We thought it would be the right time to make the move. We came across a middle-aged female with blonde hair and very businesslike. She understood the challenges of selling something unique, but she didn't realize the demographic of the neighborhood. There were many families from a different culture and religion buying properties and building their style houses. They didn't do business with females, specifically white females. No one showed up for the open houses. Then one day I take my son to the dentist and my daughter decides to stay home with our dog. As I am leaving the driveway, I see a renter from a house nearby talk with three teens and she's pointing at my house. Stuck in traffic, my daughter calls and says there are three guys trying to break into our house. I call my friend who shows up in minutes and scares the boys away. A couple weeks later, the landlord of the renter that pointed at our house makes a lowball offer on our house. So he paid off the thugs to convince my family to move. He's the same landlord that owned the house across the street from us and had ex-cons making the area undesirable. We removed our house from the market. A couple years later, we decided to revisit our goal of leaving the neighborhood, but this time we hired a South Asian female. She lacked the details, and soon after, we removed our house from the market again. Then we had someone that lived in the neighborhood. He already developed a couple properties, and we decided to give him a chance. On our first open house, there were many clients at the showing, and when my wife and I arrived, we could hear comments about how overpriced we were. He would bring many different people to view the property, but it was always about the work they had to do and the cost. We would have to go down in price. The realtor brought in a lowball offer and said we should counteroffer to complete the deal. While waiting, the realtor would take us to view homes where we would like to move to. He tried to convince us to put in an offer so that we would have two properties. My wife and I said no. We got a final lowball offer, and he suggested that we counteroffer again. We came in too low for my liking and signed off. I was sick to my stomach, and I couldn't sleep because I felt I was being ripped off by my realtor. He comes back, the buyer counters with a lower price, and I agree with my wife not to counter. The deal was off. A couple days later, I am working in the yard, and I hear a loud vehicle playing gangster Punjabi rap. The car is still running. I hear my realtor start chanting something in Punjabi and pouring some liquid around my property. I tell my wife what I saw. We make a call that we want to cancel the listing. He shows up with the paperwork, but before we sign the documents, the realtor said, "Why do you want to stay? You don't belong in this neighborhood, you're not brown, and you certainly aren't welcome around here." My wife and I held our ground, and now it's been a couple years since that happened. We have heard from others how exciting and pleasant it is to sell and buy new properties. All we've experienced is disappointment and reverse racism. We have learned, and we'll be ready for when the next time is to accept an offer. And when that happens, I don't think that we'll celebrate the event.